You've probably heard reports about some of the stimulus payments actually going to people who are deceased, or they're being sent to the wrong accounts. People are writing about this on social media and reporting that relatives and family members who've passed away are actually getting these stimulus payments. Given those reports, are you skeptical of supporting these future direct payments in another package?
No, I think it's important that we send money directly to taxpayers for the duration of the pandemic. Because if you have, right now we have 20 million people who've filed for unemployment. There's millions and more who are still trying to file for unemployment and may not have gotten through. So I think the need to make sure people don't starve, that they can pay their rent or their mortgage or car payments is absolutely essential. And if there are examples of fraud, corruption, or mistakes, those should be investigated and we should get to the bottom of it. But it doesn't mean the money isn't useful to other people who desperately need it.
Right. I don't think you throw the baby out with the bathwater in this situation. I think to the extent that we have folks, not even to the extent, we know there are millions upon millions of folks who are struggling to get by in this country. Before the pandemic, 2/3 of folks were living paycheck to paycheck, 2/3. So we know how desperate these direct payments are needed. They're desperately needed. And so it is important that we continue to build upon this program. And we will have to, because the amounts that we actually provided in the CARES Act is just a first step. We're going to have to continue to build upon that to really help families through these difficult times.
I've asked the IRS if there's a system in place for them to recoup the funds if they're being sent to the wrong accounts or to people who are deceased, but they haven't responded. Do you know if there's a way to recoup the funds? And if not, what do you think is the best way to proceed to get that money back?
Um, those can be simple fraud investigations that the Department of Justice can do. It's the same as tax fraud. So we investigate tax fraud every year, and they find people who breach tax laws. So I don't think it would be handled any more differently than that. And we should actively, of course, encourage the Department of Justice to investigate any instances of tax fraud. But again, if you really want to look for where the sins of the moment lie, it's in the first, second, and third COVID bill, where Mitch McConnell wrote in giveaways to favorite companies and favorite sectors of the economy. And those were millions of dollars given away to different sectors who are their campaign donors. And that's really the most troubling part of Washington, is the corruption and greed that sits at the center, which is money in politics. And so one of the best things we can do after this is really advocate for publicly funded elections and getting money out of politics.